Hey you guys, it's Heidi and welcome back to this week's episode of Baby Names Sunday. So for those of you who are new, every single Sunday I upload a baby names list, very usable but unique and very uncommon and rare baby names that maybe you guys haven't heard of or ones that are definitely needing to make a light in this world. But make sure you guys are subscribed, make sure you guys are hitting that bell notification down below so you guys don't miss any of our videos, and also make sure you guys are following us on Instagram. I have our family Instagram account, and I also do have a baby names kind of only Instagram account as well. So I'll have those linked right here and also linked down in the description. This week is all about boys' names, and I decided to create an amazing, handsome, so handsome list of surnames, so last names that could be used as a first name for your little baby boys. And let me tell you, I was on a rampage. I had like over 70 names on this list and I had to stop adding names to the list. I narrowed it down to around 20 names, so it is quite a big list, but oh my goodness, they are just super handsome names for your little baby boy, and all the way until they grow up, very handsome names and so usable. So let's get on with this list. Okay, to start off this list, honestly, this is probably my favorite boy's name right now, so I wanted to share it with you guys because someone needs to use it, and that is the name Copland, so spelled C-O-P-E-L-A-N-D. This name could totally be spelt a couple different ways, but I am just loving the length. I think it is so cute, but it has this handsome touch as well to it because it is in that surname category. It just kind of gives it that little bit of oomph that I absolutely love. So Copland is an English surname and it means bought land. And with Copland, I am absolutely loving the nicknames. You can nickname him Land, you can nickname him Cope, or you can even do like Coopy. I feel like Coopy could totally be a nickname for him, or Coop. I feel like it can totally work for this name. Moving on to the next surname on this list. This one is so cool. It's only 4 letters, and that is the name Benz. So spelled B-E-N-Z. Super short, simple, and with that hard Z at the end, I feel like it just makes it sound so cool. And it adds that really cool funk to the already kind of trendy name Ben or Benjamin. Very traditional name. It's been around for a really long time, but I think Benz would be a really great futuristic addition to the name, just making a Z on the end. So it's actually a 5th century Germanic name, meaning dweller at the sign of a little bear. Some unique animal ties to it, but it also has some nature ties to it as well. And nature and animal themed names are on trend right now. Moving on to the next boy's name on this list. This one has a little bit of some celebrity ties to it, and that is the name Eastwood. So spelled E-A-S-T-W-O-O-D. So another really long boy's name option. Eastwood is definitely a very popular last name. Obviously, actor Clint Eastwood, and now people are looking at it as a first name, which I think is such a cool option, but again, it's very unique, and it kind of grabs 2 names, East and Wood, and puts it together, which I feel like a lot of surnames you'll see on this list is almost like a more trendier and popular name, and then with another name added onto it. And I think also with having both East and Wood in the name, you could totally nickname him Wood, Woody. East would be a nickname as well. And obviously Eastwood means east side of the woods, so nature-esque, and it is an English surname. Another really cool name that is kind of popular because of its ties with another, I wouldn't say a celebrity, but its ties with a character on a TV show, Lost, and that is the name Locke, so spelled L-O-C-K-E. Kind of short, cool, and it only has 1 syllable, Locke. I think this would be a really cool first name. It could totally work for a middle name as well, and it has a lot of European roots. It's Dutch, German, but it also has some Scottish and English ties to it as well. And then I also found out in some parts of the world it is spelled L-O-K. So if you're wanting a little bit more of a shorter variation of the name Locke, L-O-K would be another really great option for you. Moving on to our next boy's name. This one I find is very attractive for a man. I think it sounds really cool, and for a little boy I think it would be really cool as well. I feel like this also can go for both boy and a girl, but that is the name Mercer, so spelled M-E-R-C-E-R. It is an English and Scottish surname, and the meaning is derived from an old French word meaning Mercier, I'm assuming, and it means one who trades textiles, so like clothing. So really cool. It has some really cool history, and I feel like it has a lot of edge to it. Mercer. It has that edgy sound to it, but I feel like it's still not as popular as it should be. Another super attractive last name for a first name for a little baby boy would be the name Novak, so spelled N-O-V-A-K. So Novak is a Serbian originated name, but it's actually used all throughout Europe. Depending on how you spell it, it'll be from a different part of Europe, which I find really interesting, and it has such a sweet meaning, and it means the new one. So I think this would be a perfect little name for a new little baby, a new little boy into the family. And I think it also falls in the category with Neo, Nova, Nouvelle. All of those mean new, so I feel like would really make a great sibling name or a twin name for those names as well. And now moving on to another really strong and one syllable last name, and that is the name Burke, so spelled B-U-R-K-E. I am loving this. Burke and Ben's. I think that would sound so good for boy siblings or even twins. I think it has those strong, futuristic, modern kind of sound to them. Burke and Ben's. I think they have that really cool ring to it. But Burke's actually an Irish surname meaning fortification, which basically means strengthening or reinforcing a place or a person to prepare for attack. So it kind of has this medieval side to it. Way back in the day, that's when it was kind of brought to light as a surname. And I was also doing a little bit more research, and it's actually a French originated first name meaning from the fortress, so it makes sense with one another. But I think this one sounds super cool, again with a brother named Ben's. I think it just sounds like a really great duo. Okay, this next one I am dying over. I was telling Davey, and I'm like, this one is so adorable sounding. I love it. And if you're looking for something that is definitely cute but still has kind of a traditional feel to it, I feel like this is the perfect name for you. And that is the name Corrigan, so spelled C-O-R-R-I-G-A-N. I am loving the length of it, and I like how it's almost a mishmash of Corey, which is a really strong, powerful, trendy name that's definitely popular right now, and the name Morgan. Corrigan. I think it just sounds so sweet. Let me know in the comments below if you guys do too. But it's actually an Irish originated name meaning spear. So it has this power behind it that kind of makes a really great balance. So a little bit of history. Back in Irish times, the Corrigan family actually had relatives of 4th century Irish kings. So it definitely has some royalty behind the name as well. I just think that altogether this name, when I dug up more information about it, it just got better and better. And that's why I had to add it to the list. It sounds sweet, has a lot of powerful meanings behind it, and it's a very historical name. I just had to add it. And another really cool name that I found that was super interesting because it's a Swedish surname, and that was the name Norden, so spelled N-O-R-D-I-N. I feel like this name is probably pronounced a little bit differently throughout the world. Don't judge me on any of the names because obviously I am saying it the way they kind of look, but I think that Norden would be such an amazing name. It's kind of in that same category as the Aiden, Jordan. A lot of those names are very trendy, popular right now, and I think Norden would really fall into that category and more of like a unique version and variation of it. And it comes from the Old Norse word for north, and it's also, which is really interesting, made up of 2 Arabic words, nur, N-U-R, meaning light, and din or aldin, meaning religion. It has a little bit of a religious related background as well, which is a nice little addition to the name that some people might be looking for. So the next boy's name on the list is super cool. I think it's very modern, and I feel like I might have heard this as a first name before. Let me know. But that is the name Landry, so spelled L-A-N-D-R-Y. It is actually French and English originated, and it means powerful ruler. So another really great, powerful sounding name for a little boy. I love how a lot of surnames have that powerful meaning behind them or powerful sound to them. It makes it very masculine, and I think that's why a lot of parents would choose a surname as a first name. But the name Landry is actually apparently one of the oldest surnames in France. Torres. And this is why I said it might be a little bit more known out there as a first name, still super unique, but it might have shed some light because the Dallas Cowboys coach, I think one of the coaches back in the day was named Tom Landry. So I think that's when the name sort of became a little popular and people were like, maybe I should use this as a first name. It doesn't sound too outside of the box. I feel like this is very usable through many, many different families if you're looking for more of a unique name, but still has that traditional feel to it. Okay, this one I am loving. I think this one is so cool, and that is the name Heir. So spelled H-E-I-R. Ooh, this one has such cool royalty feels to it, royalty vibes. That is why I am loving it. And it's actually an Anglo-Saxon and Old French originated name and created for those that were very well known back in the day. So your last name was basically Heir. So I thought that was like super cool if you're looking for a really royal sounding boy's name. And Heir could totally be for a boy or a girl. I feel like this could work either or. Twin girls, I would totally do like Halo and Heir. So H-A-L-O and H-E-I-R. I feel like that would be so beautiful. I think it works perfectly. Or even like Empress and Heir. So if you're not wanting like a matchy-matchy, I feel like those two twin combo for girls, I think it's so pretty. Or even like a boy-girl twin combo with that Empress and Heir, I think it would work so perfectly. Ooh, okay, another really great one that is basically a common name that is definitely very, very popular. Everyone loves this one, but it's adding on a little extra word to it to make it unique, and that is the name Blakemore. So spelled B-L-A-K-E-M-O-R-E. So this one is a perfect example of a popular name like Blake, but adding a little bit of maybe another name onto the end, or even adding more onto an end right now has been really popular. But the name Blakemore is actually an Anglo-Saxon originated surname, and it's derived from like a location name, Blackmore in Essex, which is also a really cool name, Essex. I really like that name. But it's given to those who lived in Blackmore way back in the day. Blakemore was another alternative to that. I just think adding that more onto it just adds that sophistication to the name. That's why I'm loving it. You can go by Blake, and it's almost like you can still get away with having one of those trendier names, but you're making it your own, and it's so, so unique. And now to another royalty surname. I am loving this. I think it is super, super cute for a boy, super handsome all the way up into a man. I think this totally could work, and that is the name Windsor. So spelled W-I-N-D-S-O-R. Loving this. This one actually obviously has royalty ties because Queen Elizabeth, you know, the Queen. Queen Elizabeth's last name is actually Windsor, which is kind of, I know this is bad, but I literally just kind of found this out recently. So maybe if Archie, Charlotte, Windsor would be a really great option in that category. You're still in that royalty sounding names, but a little bit more uncommon and unique. And the name is derived from windlass, which I had to look up, and it is the name of the winch that pulls up the anchor from the sea. So I just had to add this one. It was super cute. It has a little bit of nautical ties to it with a hint of royalty. So I'm feeling like a lot of these are Anglo-Saxon surnames, but man, they are so, so cool. This is totally along the lines of the Blakemore. I feel like this could be a brother's name. Totally. And that is the name Chadwick. So spelled C-H-A-D-W-I-C-K. Chad is super trendy, super popular, probably one of the more, I want to say it's probably in the top like 20 boys names, but adding wick onto the end, Chadwick, adds this kind of mysterious, handsome sound to it. I am loving. I love the name Chad already. It's one of my guilty pleasure common names that I absolutely love, but I would never use. But Chadwick, I would totally use that in a heartbeat. So Chadwick, as I said, was an Anglo-Saxon name, and it means town or village of Chad, and it means protector and defender. So what? such a great, cool, powerful little boy's name, protector and defender. I think that would be very meaningful for a lot of families out there, and that is exactly why I added it to the list. This next one has also a nature tie to it, which I thought was really, really cool. I did not even know that, and it's not really noticeable at all in the name, and that is the name Lowell, so spelled L-O-W-E-L-L. Very similar to Lowell, L-O-V-E-L-L, and they both actually have associations to wolves. So Lowell is actually a French originated surname meaning wolf cub. Adorable. See, this one has such a sweet, cute animal meaning. So just like Ben's had an association with bears, this one has an association with wolves and wolf cubs. Ben's and Lowell, I think that really works as well. A lot of these names really work well with each other. So if you're looking for twin boy names or even boy and girl combos or even sibling combos, this is a great list for you. So moving on to our next name, it's the name Irving, I-R-V-I-N-G, and Irving's a Scottish originated surname, and it means green river or sea friend. So again, this is another really great nature inspired, nature themed name that isn't screaming nature. So if you're not wanting to name your child maybe Sage or Fox or Ocean, like go straight to it, this is a really great in the safe zone type if you're looking for something a little bit more conservative, but you're still wanting a really cool, trendy nature tie. This is a really great option for you. Irving or Irvine, both work regardless. I think they're super handsome. It has that sophisticated feel to it and a little bit more of a traditional sound to it as well. This one is another one that is totally part of the Ben's category, I think, and that is the name Torres, so spelled T-O-R-R-E-S. This one is a Spanish surname, and I've actually heard this for a lot of Spanish last names, and it means tower. It has that same flow and same vibe as Ben's or Burke does. I feel like they can all be almost like a trio of boys' names, but maybe if you're not wanting to go so matchy-matchy with Burke and Ben's, you can go like Torres and Ben's. Like they all sound like a bunch of cool dudes, like cool guys, but maybe you're not wanting to go so matchy-matchy. Torres would be a really great substitution if you don't want that B and B combo. All right, so 3 more names left on the list, and these ones are just, they're as amazing as all the other ones on this list. Honestly, it was so hard to narrow down, but this next one is the name Boam. So again, another one that totally falls into the categories I was just naming. Boam is so handsome. So it's spelled B-O-H-M. Super short, super simple, but I think it still has that cool flair to it. I am loving it. It is a Germanic Jewish last name meaning Bohemia, which was actually the name of the country of Czechoslovakia. I can't even say that word, Czechoslovakia. Nope, I can't say it. But apparently that's what the country was before, Bohemia. That's what it was called before, which I did not know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I looked up and that's what it was. And Boam was actually like basically the definition of Bohemia, which was really cool. So it has some history to it, but it also has this artsy boho vibe to it, which totally screams bohemian. So for a boy's name, if I wanted something a little bit more shorter, this is definitely like number 1 or number 2 on the boy side for me. I am loving it. And now moving to our second to last name on the list. This one I actually heard of very first off from a girl who actually follows us on Instagram and our videos. Her name's Alyssa, and I believe her daughter's actually named this name, but this one could totally work for a boy or a girl, and that is the name Prescott, so spelled P-R-E-S-C-O-T-T. But as soon as she told me her little baby's name, Prescott, I thought that was so adorable. It has this almost preppy feel to it, like this preppy high school feel to it. I had no idea why, and I seriously have never heard of this as a name until I heard it from her. And then I found it on like the surname list, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally adding this to the surname. So shout out to you, Alyssa. This is an amazing name, and I know that a lot of you guys out there are gonna absolutely love it. But it's an English originated name meaning priest's cottage. Boy or girl, I think it is so suitable, and I think it totally needs to make its light. But last name on this list was so challenging to pick, but I love it. It reminds me of the very first name that I listed on this list, which was Copland. That's how come it made it. It made it to the list. And that is the name Sutherland. So spelled S-U-T-H-E-R-L-A-N-D. So long, but absolutely amazing. I think this name is so cool. Copland and Sutherland, like how flippin' cool are those names? Am I just over exaggerating? Because like my height level right now, I'm trying to calm it down. But Sutherland is a Scottish surname, and in Old Norse it means Southland, which makes sense. Sutherland, Southland. And the reason behind that is because the colony settled south of the Scandinavian territory. So interesting, back when everybody was colonizing in certain areas, this name was created because of that. So it has definitely some history behind it, and I had to add it because it sounds like Copland, and you guys know me, I absolutely have been obsessing with these names, these longer boy names. I don't know what is with it. I've been loving them lately. But that is it with the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you absolutely love these names. I hope they were unique, very different than maybe some of the other surnames that you guys have heard of for first names. I think there is so many surnames that could be totally usable. So obviously I couldn't name them all, so I will definitely be doing a second video of this for sure in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys this week with another video. Bye!